Welcome to the Picked Off, sponsored by the Sideline Sports Network and the Gauntlet. As you know, I'm JJ. Good to see you guys again. And I got my co-host here, Mr. James Tatum, who worked so hard last week. I had to give my boy a break, so I'll be taking lead on the show. But James, man, what's going on with you, man?
Chilling, bro. Just another day, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive. So, Eagles had a
Yes,
bye
yes,
week last week, but they'll be back this week. So, excited to see what more the season has to offer for the NFL.
yes, indeed, man. And we are kicking off with the first quarter of the season. It's behind us. So now all the kinks, all the rust, we should be able to really kind of really formulate some accurate picks when it comes to these teams that we're facing. Because now identities are starting to be formed. So let's get right into it. We'll start off with the Thursday game. NFC West showdown. Two teams that have some questions about themselves. The Seahawks, the Seahawks, I think, may have exceeded expectations early, but then they kind of came back down to earth. They had a bad loss against the Giants. Does it mean the Giants are getting better? We don't know. But San Francisco, injuries, and now they are falling under 500. So, James, I'm going to take it to you. The fact that they still have those injuries, they still are 3.5 favorites. What's up, Bacon Grizzle? Shout out to you as well, man. And everyone in the comments, shout out when y'all coming up. Let's talk. But James, what you got? Do you think San Fran, or what's your take? What's your going on?
I think it's a must win for the 49ers just because I think if they lose this game, they will be 0-3 in the division because they already lost to the Rams and the Cardinals last week. So this is a must win for them in the division. It's a tough game. It's on the road. It's in Seattle. It's a hard place to play. It's extremely loud. But I got to say, the 49ers have had their issues, and they kind of have faltered after their first couple weeks with Jordan Mason, and everyone was saying how great they looked. They don't really miss Christian McCaffrey. I think they really are missing Christian McCaffrey, and that's Brock Purdy's safety guy. So it's going to be a struggle, I think, but I think the 49ers will pull it off, and it will beat the Seahawks this week. Close game, 24-20.
That's yeah, that's typically par for the course for these teams. Full disclosure to everyone, I have deleted my betting apps, not betting anymore. It's more so something that's spiritual for me, but that's another topic. So when I give these picks, it's pretty much just going to be an assessment from what I'm watching now. But I could still try to give the best if I want. But yeah, I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going to go with the 49ers, but I say that with such hesitancy because I feel like I agree with you 1,000%. They need Christian McCaffrey. But the problem is when you live in this society that you react to something off of a week or hour or day or minute basis, you do things like this. And so we'll get into it later, but it's happening with my game with the other opponent right there. But that's not here. But to this point, yeah, I think the 49ers got it. I think that, at the end of the day, I think the Seahawks are a good team. But I think that this is the matchup, despite no matter what could be happening with this team, they know them. So they know how to work, how to go against them, or how to figure them out. It will be intriguing because it is a new coach. So there might be a little wrinkle there. But, with that continuing, we're going to move on to the next game. Oh, wait. Now, I don't remember the name, so please forgive me. But we got
Kendall.
say that again.
Kendall.
Kendall. Yes, so my bad, Kendall. Look who's joined us. I don't know where he's been, but he's here now. What's
Been,
going on, Kendall? How's
been
it
busy.
going?
Been busy, man. Grinding. I'm sorry about that.
Nah, you good, man. At the end of the day, listen, grind is grinding. That's life, right? That's what we doing. As long as you grind it, that means you're doing what you can do for yourself.
Yes,
So
sir.
Keep it moving.
let's break it down, man. We just talked about it. James and I are on San Francisco. What about you? Where are you?
Tomorrow, yeah, that's tomorrow. I'm going with San Fran. What's just a 3 point? But yeah, I got San Fran tomorrow night. They coming off a tough loss to Arizona. They're pretty good coming back off a loss. So I think they're gonna bounce back tomorrow. I think they'll beat Seattle. And they've owned I don't think Seattle's beat them in a while. They've owned Seattle this matchup for a good while. Seattle's kind of came back to earth the past couple of weeks. They lost to the Giants, and then they just lost to they lost who they lose before then. To Detroit. They lost to the Detroit Lions. I think San Francisco the more desperate team, and they get this one tomorrow night.
That's pretty much just the temperament of all of us. We think, San Fran is obviously the better team. They're supposed to get this win. So now we're going to transition to James. You want to take it away? Oh, hold on. I thought. All right, I thought this was how you.
Jay set the order like this, so I'm just going off what he said.
Got it. See, I thought it was based off of the one that I talked to you earlier.
I thought it was too, but we're not on the same page.
No worries. So, real quick, Kendall, your team is who?
The New England Patriots.
So why don't you give us this breakdown, and then we'll take our picks after you lay it out for us.
Yeah, interesting matchup. Houston coming off a close game against Buffalo. I actually thought they was going to blow Buffalo out. Patriots, we are starting Drake May, first game, sitting Jacoby Brissett down. It was time for May to get in. Rookie quarterback going up against D'Amico Ryans. That defense, CJ Stroud. It's interesting thing about the Texans. I actually think this game could be closer than what a lot of people think. The Texans really haven't blown out nobody. They haven't looked the best yet. And then they just put Nico Collins. He's on IR. Joe Mixon is out. I think I seen like two of their offensive linemen might not make this game, and they got some injuries on defense. So it's gonna be an interesting game. If I'd be a bet man, I'd go with the Texans to win the game. But I think they could definitely be on upset alert, man, because I think Foxborough, as I say, is going to have some energy in the building Sunday with Drake May playing, man. I would not be surprised if we mess around and upset them. But I think Houston wins, but they definitely should be on upset alert.
Okay. Well, anything with a new quarterback and a new thing, you just never know what you can expect. You know what I'm saying? Like when you just throw somebody in there, you never know. So, James, what do you think?
I just think the Texans are gonna win this game off of talent. I think the Patriots are gonna come out with more energy with Drake May. So sometimes when you see a team start like a rookie quarterback for a first time, it gives the team a boost. I remember that being the case with Hurts when they sat down Wentz. The team was anemic, and Jalen Hurts really gave the team a spark, and they were able to do some good things during his rookie year. But that's what I'm gonna be looking for with the Patriots and how they look better. But the Texans, I think, just has a little more talent. So it will be interesting, though, because Nico Collins will not be in this game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, James. Even with the Nico, they got a couple of tackles that might miss the game. I think
Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell going to have to have a good performance, I think. But Nico Collins is CJ's favorite target, so it will definitely affect things to some degree.
Christian Gonzalez versus Stephon Diggs should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Diggs, though, we won't get into that because that's not the type of show, but he's got an interesting kind of next couple of days based off of what I keep seeing online, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. But in terms of this game, I don't bet, but I will have to say this. If Nico being out, maybe my props for Tank Dell can start to get going, which is I need 5 touchdowns from him. That's just a season-long prop. That was done before I declared stop betting. But anyway, I will say I'm going to go with Houston, but I would, think just because I do believe that while a rookie and the energy is going to be there, when you are some team that is maybe a little bit further along and has probably been in that same position yourself, you're going to kind of clamp down. I definitely see this as a very competitive game. Mm-hmm. And to James's point, everyone, I know Jalen Hurts' game because he did that against us. And that was almost a game where we almost lost with him coming back, and that was back when they had Travis Fulgham, and it just became this whole hoopla. So you just never know what can happen. I've actually lost when Kirk Cousins came in for RG3. What? What's that?
Oh, no, I was just saying hello to Silver. He's in the comments.
Oh, yeah. Yo, Silver, what's up, man? All right, what's going on, bro? There we go. People in the comments. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Houston here, and I'm going to sit here. We're going to, let's see what's up. I forget to read these things. So let's go to the next game. We don't know what it is. I thought I did, but I didn't know.
In London.
We are in London. And by the way, shout out to them doing the Parent Trap dance and chant shake, and they scored a touchdown in London, Minnesota. But that's, last week. We got Jaguars and we got Bears. We got two teams that probably are having records that some people didn't think was going to happen. People thought they believed in Caleb Williams, but they didn't think that they were probably going to be above 500 at this point, maybe 2-3, 1-4. And then you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who traditionally in the last couple of years have known to pretty much start off strong, but they've started and they just got their first win last week. So this is Jacksonville's second home. This is a stadium. This is a situation. This is an understanding of how to adapt that they are so familiar with. Is that going to be enough, fellas? And I will pass it to Kendall here. Is that enough for the Jaguars to overtake the Bears, or do you have the Bears going to 4-2?
I got the Bears winning a close one. This game's going to be an interesting. I know when you look at the Bears, Jazz might not be the most interesting game, but I wouldn't mind saying Caleb Williams. Early as soon as I wake up in the morning, then you got Trevor Lawrence. They just beat the Colts. So Colts had Joe Flacco, and they got a couple of injuries there, and they were home. So I'm gonna go with the Bears, but this is a close one right here, man. What's the line on this game?
I think it was 2.5.
I think it is Bears 2.5.
Yeah, I got Chicago. I'm gonna go Chicago in a close game, but that Jaguars defense isn't good though.
So, no, not at all.
Yeah, so that's why I got the Bears.
James, what you got?
I also have the Bears winning this game, and the major reason why is kind of to Kendall's point. I'm not really sure what the exact numbers are, but I do know that the Jaguars' defense is giving up among the most passing yards to quarterbacks. Joe Flacco had a tremendous game against them. Josh Allen had a tremendous game. So I would say whatever is the over-under for Caleb passing yards, I would bet on that this week. And I think that DJ Moore has a big game, and the Bears win.
Okay.
DJ had a good game against his former team, the Panthers, last week as well. So I think he's going to keep rolling.
So you got two people in the Bears. I'm going Jaguars for the simple fact of the matter is it's overseas. And new teams that are not familiar with playing overseas, it affects you. Jacksonville is used to it. Jacksonville is a team that is familiar with how to prepare for it. And I think that Chicago will make it a game. But it would not surprise me, and I don't think it's going to surprise me, if Jacksonville does not get it going. Because, again, I've been experiencing it as a Ravens fan. I've seen it when other teams have faced them over there. It is a real deal, changing time zones of that nature and trying to prepare. They have tried so many different things. You typically may see this team get it going in the second half or start off maybe a good drive in the first half and then have a little struggle and then still be in the game. But I got Jacksonville winning this game. I don't think that they're the more talented team. I'm more so thinking about the more prepared team for the circumstance. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville Jaguars here.
Very, very interesting because we play the Jags next week in London again. They'll be back in London next week. So we got Jacksonville next week.
That's even more interesting, and so that would make
they're playing 2 games there.
And so what's going to happen is they're going to already be there for a week, get used to the time zone, no problem. New England's going to have to figure out how they do it. Some teams get there like Thursday. Some teams get there like Wednesday. Friday. Everybody's trying something if you've never really done it before. So we got that 2 with the Chicago, 1 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now we go into the next game. Drum roll, please.
All right, next game is this.
So we have Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, who, bravo, gutted that victory out against the San Francisco 49ers last week. Kyler Murray had a 50-yard rush touchdown. He and Marvin Harrison Jr. started to get a little bit of a connection going on, but they came up and they probably shocked a few people when they sat here and beat the San Francisco 49ers. And then now we got the Green Bay Packers, who, with Jordan Love back, they're happy again. They could breathe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were like, oh my gosh. And I still do think they rushed him a little bit early, but he's holding up, and we have seen this team when this guy is healthy and is dealing, and they are a dangerous duo. He and Jalen Reed have a great connection going on. They got Josh Jacobs. They haven't got a chance to get him going the way they like, but they do have to get him going. So I'm going to pass it to James here. Who do you have in this one? Do you have Kyler or do you got Jordan?
I think Green Bay is going to win. They're playing at home. This is a tough environment to go win a game in with those fans. And Jordan Love kind of starting to get himself on the right track. You saw him really start to get it together in that second half against the Vikings. They started coming back. And then last week, good performance against the Rams. So I think it's just going to keep trending upward the more games that he continues to play. So I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers, win a close game at home. Maybe I'm going to say 27-24.
Yeah, this could be an interesting game, close game. Arizona's been balling this year, so but the record might not indicate it, but they really have been playing some good ball. But I'm gonna go with Green Bay at home.
Okay, so full side note, y'all know me. I always throw loops in here. I am hungry, so you might see a little nibbles a little bit when you guys are speaking because my food just arrived. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna get it after I make my pick here. Can we bring it back up? I'm gonna go with the Packers here. Because I do believe in them. I do think Arizona's up and coming, but I do think with Jordan Love at the helm, if you protect them and keep them hold up, I do believe they can get it and pretty much get it going. This is an intriguing matchup because these are two teams that very well could be in the playoffs at the end of the year because they have such talent and they're growing. And Green Bay is there, getting there. Green Bay's trying to do what Houston's trying to do is prove themselves and saying last year we arguably could have gone to the NFC title game. We are a team to beat. And then Arizona's like, hey, we got a new coach. We got Kyler. We're going to team that can play. We're going to try to be here. So I'm going to go with the Packers here. So I believe that's all three of us on the Packers. Oh, wow.
Yep, we're all picking Green Bay.
Let's see if we can jinx somebody. No, I'm just playing. Don't do that. Okay. Now, we have the Joe Flacco-led Indianapolis Colts, fresh off of a close loss, but a really competitive game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you have the Tennessee Titans, who defense isn't bad. Defense is actually pretty good, but they still struggle on offense. And so we have a team that they're AFC South rivals, AFC South, so much history between these two teams. I'm going to pass it to 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me fun. I don't know. I just made that up. Kendall, give us away, bro. Tell me what you think, Colts or Titans. And if I'm not back when you finish, James, you could take it away because you already know I'm getting my food. Go ahead, Kendall.
I got you.
Yeah, this is a coin toss game here, man. I don't know if Anthony Richardson is back or not.
I have not heard if he is.
Yeah, Titans coming off a bye. I'll go with the Colts because I haven't liked what I've seen from the Titans. Even though they did beat Miami before they went on their bye week. Will Levis should be back starting, but you just don't know what to expect from him. I go with the Colts in a tight one, man. A real tight game. I go with the Colts.
Colts injury report still says that Anthony Richardson is listed as questionable, so he could start, he could not. We don't know. I do think that the Colts look actually pretty good, though, with Flacco last week. So I don't know. If it's a push, I would not put Anthony Richardson out there. I will put Flacco out there. I like how the Colts offense was looking. The defense just couldn't really stop anybody last week, and I don't really see Will Levis being able to get it done. So I think I'm just kind of pick the Colts by default, just because I don't really trust the quarterback of the other team. I think the Titans have some nice pieces. Calvin Ridley's a good player. They got Tony Pollard, so they got it. But the quarterback, I just don't think he's it, and I think that's why the Colts are gonna end up winning this one.
Yeah, I can see.
So, Kendall, who did you pick?
I went with the Colts.
All right.
Both pick the Colts.
Colts as well. James, I heard you went with the Colts. I'm gonna go with the Colts. But I do agree with, that spread there because I think it's going to be a really tight game. I do expect turnovers on both quarterbacks. But I ultimately think Jonathan Taylor is going to be the difference maker.
Yep.
And they're going to win that game off of him. And if you can run the football effectively, that's going to help Joe Flacco overcome his mistakes. one thing you know about Joe Flacco, he's always going to throw an interception. It's just something.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a. It's so it's. I'd had 10 years of this, guys. I had 10 years of this. And it's like I would love a game to just be the only time I was. That's why the Super Bowl run was so happy because he had no picks,
Yep.
and that was so odd. And so he gonna throw a pick in this game, but we're moving on. Oh, y'all moved on before me, so let me hurry up and catch up with y'all because I see y'all on the next game. All right, so we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and we got the New Orleans Saints. NFC South showdown between two teams that, hey. The NFC South, outside of Panthers, is competitive. Even the Panthers could be a competitive team.
It really is.
They're not going to, they probably had a nice little upstart that people believe in them, but they're probably going to figure some things out to be a little bit. Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay, looking decent, not looking like they're struggling. They have some up and downs. They lost to some teams that are projected to be better or teams that are supposed to be actually in a different, stratosphere right now for their own standards. And then the Saints started off real strong, got leveled, came back down to earth the last two games, but the last couple games, but after a tough loss against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the Super Bowl reigning champs back to back, I'm going to take it to James. Who do you like? You're an NFC guy. Who do you like in this matchup and why? Because you have been a guy that has been on both of these squads. Tampa Bay coming in, New Orleans after, a couple of weeks.
No, I think the NFC South is really competitive. I think Atlanta's very good. I think the Saints are good. And I think also, obviously, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay won the division last year. Man, I see the Buccaneers winning this one, tight game. But when you look at the Saints, I really think that they got to find a way to win this game.
Yeah.
If they do not, it will cause some trouble, kind of like what I was saying about earlier, the 49ers, because you already lost the two division teams. You already lost Atlanta, and you already lost two division games. So this will be a third game that they lost in the NFC South. So I think them playing at home will help them, but I just trust Baker Mayfield to go out there. Ever since Baker Mayfield got to Tampa, he's been getting better. The team looks very good. You got Mike Evans still playing good ball. So I think the Buccaneers win a tight one. But Saints,
this would be the Saints.
The Saints, I think, really got to have a good performance this week.
This would be the Saints' second divisional loss if they lose to Tampa, right? Well, second loss because they lost to Atlanta. I think you said third.
Did
they beat Carolina week 1.
So they beat Carolina. Okay, then they'll be 1-2.
Yeah.
So I still think that it's a big game because you're gonna lose back-to-back games to division teams. It's not something that you want to do too much if you want to stay in it. So I think the Saints got to have a good performance either way.
I think Tampa gets this one. They've had a little bit extra time off. They played last Thursday in Atlanta, so they had a little bit extra time off to prepare for this one right here. I think Tampa is a divisional opponent, so they really don't need that much time off. You're familiar with each other. I think Tampa wins this one. This one, I think the line is 3 points. I got Tampa winning this one. In a close. Where's it? It's in New Orleans. Yeah, it's in New Orleans.
It's in New Orleans.
Yeah, I got Tampa winning this one in a close one. I think Tampa bounced back from the division loss last week in Atlanta.
I have to say,
I do want to see Spencer Rattler though.
He will be starting this week.
If Derek Carr was playing, I would have taken the Saints just because I would have loved. I think he would have used his offense and been able to get. I think the Saints defense is a little better than Tampa's offense, so they can kind of neutralize a little bit better than Tampa's defense over the Saints offense if Derek Carr was that quarterback. But he's not. I don't know what Spencer Rattler is going to be about, so I'm going with the Buccaneers. I do think this is going to be a pretty good game. I do think it's going to be a game that they'll win, but I do think this game is going to be hovered between a 3 and 7 point spread. Now, we did that one. What do we have next? I love the anticipation, guys. It's so amazing. Oh, perfect. I can relax and eat. James, go ahead, boy.
Listen, The Eagles have been having an up and down season. They just had a bye week, which I think came at appropriate time. A lot of things need to be addressed on this team, but we have to tell the truth. A lot of the games, we didn't have some of our top guys. We haven't had A.J. Brown since week 1. He's expected to be back. Devontae Smith expected back. Lane Johnson expected back. So there's no excuse for the Eagles to not come out and, dominate this week. Because we saw what this team, the Browns, have looked like this season. They're 1-4. They got destroyed versus the Cowboys week 1. They got destroyed last week versus the Commanders. They really haven't looked like a good team. And I think they also lost to the Giants. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Browns. So this team is just not very good. And if they come into Philadelphia and go on the road and win, I mean, we just saw that Robert Saleh got fired by the Jets. Look, if the Eagles lose this game, I'm saying right now, Sirianni should be gone. He should be gone immediately if they lose this game. With a healthy roster, a healthy team, it's not really any more excuse. So I want to see him come out. I want to see them dominate a team that they're much better than and should go win this game. And that's all I got to say. Jalen Hurts, no turnovers, play a clean game, and we got it.
Browns at Eagles. This is an interesting game, man. It's kind of like make or break game for Cleveland. They need to win this game. It's very important. Deshaun Watson has not looked good. I don't know what the hell has happened to him.
Nobody does.
Yeah, the defense has kind of regressed a little bit too.
Yep.
They didn't let a rookie carve them up last week. I think Philly coming off the bye week. I always like teams coming off the bye week. I think Philly gets this one, and I think I seen earlier that Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown will be back, so they're going to have the full arsenal back. Defensive line been playing good. Cleveland Brown offensive line got injuries. I'm going to go with Philly. I think that line, I like that 9 points, man. But Philly's a weird team. It's like, I think sometimes they play down to their competition. So let's just see what happens, man. But I don't know what's happened to Deshaun Watson. He's fell off a cliff. But yeah, I got Philly, and I got Philly. I like the points. I like that.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue. If anyone knows me, I am a huge Deshaun Watson fan. Had been since he was in college. Little known fact: when the draft hit, maybe James can remember this. I wanted Watson. I didn't want Lamar. So to see this guy now, he's got so much on his mind probably because I don't know how you can fall this far down from being someone that was known to be as a comeback king. It's clear that's mental and stuff because it's like, and the reason why I say that is, think about Manti Te'o and his documentary, and when that whole thing happened, his whole career, his whole playing style, and he talked about the things that he was thinking about changed, and then he ended up being out the league after having a possible promising career. I honestly wonder if that's what's going through Deshaun Watson's head, because ever since the allegations and all the stuff, and ever since that happened, it's just been a steady decline. Mm-hmm. I don't see any reason why, if they win this game, I can understand the merit and the passion for Eagles fans to feel like getting rid of Sirianni, because the Browns are not a team that looks good at all. They don't look good at all. They're not doing anything on defense. They're not doing anything on offense. And they have the talent. Don't know what's going on. But I'm going to go with the Eagles. If they win this game, if the Browns, I'll be like, oh, Lord. If the Eagles win this game, I will say this. James, I know you're going to be like this, but if the Eagles blow this team out, Overreaction Monday's coming. You know it's going to come because you know how our fan bases are. But anyway, that was weird. We all in the Eagles here. Let's go over to the next game. Done. And perfect timing. So this one, I'm going to give the breakdown, and then I'm going to go first because, it's my team. Got it. Game of the week, ironically, flexed into Jim, Tony, and Tracy. NBC won at this game. No one put this game on the schedule coming up. The Beltway.
Time out. Y'all do. We're going to get into it in a minute. Have y'all seen I said we're going to get into it in a minute to get into the game. Do y'all know who plays Sunday night?
Bengals and Giants, yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Well, but at the end of the day, it proves what we're about to talk about now. CBS knows money when they see it. They know. That's why they kept it. They were not going to miss out on this game because you have a rookie of the year pretty much solidified. It's probably going to we're not going to say solidified because we're at 5, but we know he's
the only thing this means is we can go to bed early.
Bingo. And so you have, and I love what I was watching it earlier before coming onto the show. And full disclosure, guys, I've been kind of going quick with them because I'm trying to work on my, long-windedness. But
You're doing great.
I don't know if I can do that this time, so just bear with me if I might, because you know how I'm saying, you know me. Anyway, so I was looking and listening to it, and they were talking about the fact that, Jaden Daniels loves the praise that he's getting, but he wants to be the best version of Jaden Daniels. He has a lot of respect for Lamar. He loves who he is, and Lamar has a lot of respect for him. He's like a big brother, little brother. They've known each other for years. I say all that to say, we have the Rookie of the Year frontrunner, Jaden Daniels, looking like a potential superstar in the making, against a superstar quarterback who has a similar play style, one of the people that can be considered a trailblazer for this style of play to even be the evident rave of the NFL, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens versus Washington Commanders, the I-95 battle, 365 down to DMV, battle for DMV, battle the Beltway, you name it, we have it. Now, who do I think is going to win? I think my Ravens are going to win, but I know it's going to be an up and down game, and I can honestly say that if we're going to win, it's definitely going to be off the strength of trying to either stop them from scoring a touchdown or us needing to score a touchdown, because I do know what I see from my defense, and I do know what quarterbacks that are similar to Lamar, and actually not similar to Jaden Daniels because he's his own person. I know how we struggle with people like Baker Mayfield, Burrow, and stuff off the running the game, running off the block, and I know how Lamar handles them on defense, and the scrimmages and practices. All right, this is going to be I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a really fun game. Mm-hmm. I actually love Bacon's score because I literally was going to say that. I think I got the Ravens winning this game. I got us winning 31-27 because I think we are going to win. I think every reason why Derrick Henry is brought over here is going to continue to be further solidified because I think he's going to deliver the clutch play needing for us to win the game, whether it be a touchdown or seal the game by getting that first down. So I'm going to pass it to, look who came on through. We got the guy. You missed a couple games, and you just happen to come on this game. That is funny to me. But since you just got in, I obviously picked my Ravens. Who are you having to win this game?
This is a hard one right here because what the Commanders have been doing, and I know you've never been a fan of the Commanders. In fact, the only one I met from your family that's a fan of the Commanders was your mom when we was kicking it this past summer. But you know what? I actually like the Ravens in this one. It's going to be close. I expect JD5 to put up the same numbers that he has been. Now I saw the comment from Bacon Grizzly and that both defenses are iffy. Yes, they are, especially after last week having given up 38 points to the Bengals, even though they still pulled off the victory. But I've got the Ravens in this one. Give me the Ravens 27-24. It'll come down to Justin Tucker.
And I will go, before I get to you guys, I want to, Bacon, both defenses have new defensive coordinators and new defensive players. They just need to learn the system. That's it. Because they're iffy right now because it's blown communication, all of these different lapses. It's just because you're still learning the system. I can bet you, in 5 or 6 weeks from now, both of these defenses are probably going to be significantly better than they are now. So I will give it to Kendall.
I'm gonna go 31-27, like Jay said, 31-27 Ravens. This will be a close one. I think Baltimore will kind of think Washington turns back into Washington this week. I mean, I think they still gonna have a good performance. But I think they kind of come back down to earth this week. And now look at their schedule too. They can still lose this game, and they got a lot of winnable games coming up for Washington. So I think they kind of peaked a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Baltimore in a very close one. I wouldn't be surprised with Washington because it's not really a home game for. I mean, it's a home game for both. It's right there by each other. So I think it's gonna be packed with Commander fans, packed with Baltimore fans. Ain't really no home field advantage in this game. So this game is crazy. But this game should be Sunday night football. I'm not sitting there watching the Giants and the Bengals for crying out loud. I can't
Bro,
do
I'm
that.
not even mad. I'm not even mad they didn't flex those.
Now,
I hate it when there's a game and then I gotta get up early on the next day and go to work. Like
Right.
that's just the worst. But I'll be honest with you guys. I'm picking the Commanders in this game.
No,
I
wow.
knew you
Ravens,
were. I
the
knew you were.
Ravens, the
I knew
Ravens
you were.
really bother me. What I've seen from the Ravens this season, they're sitting with a winning record, but I don't think the consistency has been there on defense. They're giving up a lot of points. They gave up a lot of points to the Chiefs. They gave up 26 to the Raiders. They had a big lead against the Cowboys, let the foot off the gas. Cowboys almost came back, and then obviously last week that was just a shootout. Bengals missed a game-winning field goal in overtime, and the Ravens escaped with a win. The defense is just not being consistent enough for me. We know what Lamar is going to do, and we know what Derrick Henry is going to do. But that defense, man, and the way Jaden Daniels is playing football right now, the swag that he's playing with, Terry McLaurin making plays. Listen, man, I got the Commanders winning this game. I think it's going to be a tight game. There'll be a lot of points scored. It'll probably be in the 30s. I'm going to say 35-31 Commanders.
But I'm sure you wouldn't be mad if the Commanders lose.
Oh, no, I sure wouldn't, but I can also see them winning this game. Just
Right.
based off what I've seen, mainly on the Ravens' defense, because I know their offense is going to do their thing, but
Yeah.
Okay. I actually understand that 1000%. And the funny thing is, I am spending time. If you saw me just reach down, which I do sometimes on the show, I'm trying to temper my own fan base from thinking we're going to blow this team out because of the points that James just mentioned. They are seriously thinking, and it's because they're just emotional that Washington is going to get dog walked. And that just reiterates what James said. I was like, this is not stop. Overconfidence when you see our defense is ridiculous. So let's just slow it down. But we'll move on to the next game. Who do we have coming up? The Chargers at the Broncos. Jim Harbaugh, AFC West showdown with the Denver Broncos. I feel so bad because I don't know the Denver's coach's name. Help me out here.
Sean Payton.
Peyton.
Dang, that's bad. But anyway, I digress. So, I always try to come up with something cool and quirky and funny things to say here, but I got nothing for you for this game. I will say this, though. The Broncos defense looks legit. The Broncos defense is out here doing the dang thing. Pat Certain is sitting there thinking like, hey, I'm still here. I'm just like my dad. I can pick it off and I can run it back. I love goal-to-goal interception touchdowns. I love them. Had a few of them experienced myself. Sorry about bringing that up, James, because I know one of them was against your team. But, I love
Ed Reed.
Anyway, I'm going to go down. Go to you, James. Go to you. Break it down for me, man. Who do you got and why?
Hey, James, you're muted. Still muted.
should not be muted right now. But this is what I was saying. The Broncos defense is dominating. They're playing great football. And it's in Denver where the altitude always seems to play on their advantage. So when it gets later in the game, I just think the Chargers are going to be tired. They're going to be out of breath, man, and it's going to be an ugly game. But I'm going to say 17-10 Broncos.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the. I go with the Chargers in a close one.
All right.
So wow, okay. So Chargers.
No, I picked the
Oh, you
Broncos.
pick Broncos, Chargers. Jay, who did you get?
I'm gonna go Broncos in this one. Now the Chargers have established their run game. They've kind of taken on the identity of being a run first team in Jim Harbaugh fashion. Uh, Now the Broncos may utilize that to stop the run and say, "Hey, Herbert, you have to beat us with your arm. Can he do it? Yes." But at the end of the day, give me the team with the better defense, and that's Denver. I'm actually going to say because I don't see Bo Nix putting up crazy points in this one. I'm going to say 21-14 Broncos.
Okay, the Broncos over here. Sorry, I had to do this real quick because I put a word in here. Facebook was like, we're about to ban you," and I'm like, "No, slow down, slow your roll." Anyway, I'm gonna go with the Broncos. No, I'm tripping. I'm gonna go with my brother. I'm going with my brother. I'm going with my brother Hardball because one thing I do know about Hardball is y'all see hear me talk about him. Jim Harbaugh is an NFL ready coach and he's an NFL game type of guy. And these type of matchups with a great defense, with so much uncertainty going on, he can get the best out of his players. And I do think the Chargers are actually a better roster. They just have these injuries and what's going on. It's clearly the big area of opportunity for them is going to be in the pass game, specifically at the wide receiver spot. However, I believe that Harbaugh is going to have a plan. So I'm going to take the Chargers here. And I think, am I the only one, or is it me and Kendall?
I
Say
think you
again?
and
I
Kendall
went
picked
Chargers.
them, and me and Jay picked the Broncos.
Broncos,
Oh,
yeah.
look at that. How do you know? Half and half. Two people on this side, two people on this side. At least that's how it looks on my screen. I don't know how it looks on y'all's screen. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next game, which, Jay, I got so
Still
confused with
that
the lineup
Raiders.
Hey,
because
man,
I'm sitting there
listen,
thinking,
this is a real NFL fan knows that this is a classic rivalry.
Yes.
uh, yeah, but nobody cares. Anyway, moving on. So, we are going to talk about an NFL classic rivalry. We're not going to say the steroids is part of this era, but it is. But anyway, we're going to talk about these two teams that are storied franchises. You have the Las Vegas Raiders, who are the formerly Oakland Raiders, who are formerly the Los Angeles Raiders, and you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. You talk about fan bases that cannot stand at each other. You talk about fan bases that's going to bring it. You got Justin Fields and the mother freaking Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, Mom. Traveling over to Las Vegas in the Darth Vader Dome to face Gardner Minshew and Antonio Pierce in the midst of the Devontae Adams situation. So,
Actually, Aiden O'Connell is starting for the Raiders.
Aiden O'Connell is starting for the Raiders. So, thank you, Wyatt, the encyclopedia. Kendall, I'm so glad you're on this show. That man that, James just showed up, he's an encyclopedia, and I still don't know how he does it. When I tell you this man has facts on every single in sports stat, every single sports stat, you go to the beginning of time of each sport, and you guys are on the show. Shout out to Wyatt for correcting me. So glad you watch the show because he's gonna make sure we get it right. He's gonna make sure we get it right. Okay. So I'm gonna turn it to you, Kendall. Kendall, like, Joseph, why are you so extra? What's going on here?
I'm gonna go. This is my upset. I got an upset for this one. I'm gonna go with the Raiders in this one.
The
A
Raiders.
lot of yeah,
Oh,
I'm a Raiders upset of the week.
Raiders.
Upset of the week. I'm going with the Raiders. A lot of time when teams make a quarterback change, the Raiders do have a lot of drama going on, coming off a loss. Then they're gonna rally around Antonio Pierce and rally around a new quarterback, Aiden O'Connell. I actually thought O'Connell was gonna start week one, but I'm gonna go with the Raiders. The Steelers, I mean, they should have beat Dallas last week. How they turned the ball over 3 times and you still find a way to lose the game. I think the Raiders will they go upset Pittsburgh and I think they'll beat them. They beat the Steelers Sunday.
Okay. I will say shout out to Bacon. He put a remark saying he gives out of pocket remarks. He does. especially when you talk about his Eagles, who are also James Eagles. So, that's always a segment. All right, so you got the black and silver. I thought I was calling Oakland Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. So, let's pivot to your right, my left, my right, your left, and let's go to Jay Nelson. Mr. Nelson, who do you have?
Oh,
Shout out
you
to
said it. The
Sorry, hold on
Steelers.
real quick. Just want to shout out to the new people that came on. I saw Matt Weeks and the Buckskin show. Oh, I love that. That's interesting. So I just want to shout everybody out. Jay, I will be quiet. Take it away.
Shout out Bokkins show. That's Nick Bokkins. He's on Confidential with us. That's who he is. But anyhow, you said it yourself. The Steelers won a turnover battle last week, and they still somehow lost that game.
Terrible.
I think this right here, because they know that they should have won that game. They should have beaten Dallas by 2 scores. But go ahead, and I'll take the Steelers in this one, and it might just be one of those ugly beatdowns. Fields is still Fields at the end of the day. He's the much better quarterback than Aiden O'Connell. Argue with your cockeyed baby mama about it. Give me the Steelers 31-10.
I don't think the Steelers can put up 30 points.
Really?
Yes,
Interesting.
I got them hanging 31. Even with that, I wouldn't be surprised that a few defensive scores to help them out.
The refs help them out.
I don't think they can put up 30 points, man. Have you seen their wins this year? All of them are ugly.
Also, have you seen the Raiders as well? Just as ugly.
I have, but I think the Raiders at home, I think they're going to upset Pittsburgh. I think they beat Pittsburgh. It's my upset of the week.
James, you got a 1-1 split. Which side are you leaning on?
Well, I think Kendall is right. I mean, I'm going to pick the Steelers to win, but I think he's right. You can't look at what the Steelers have done offensively and be impressed by them. They're very boring, predictable offense. George Pickens is supposed to be talked as a top wide receiver. He's not. So what does the Steelers really do great offensively? They don't. They hang their hat on the defense. They hang their hat on turnovers, which they got a lot last week. They hang their hat on sacks. TJ Watt being a former defensive player of the year. So it'll be a low-scoring game. I think it's probably closer to like 21-13 Steelers more than 31-10.
It's interesting, but you said 2 words, and those 2 words are why I'm going to take my rivals in this game. TJ Watt. When I hear TJ Watt and I see Aiden O'Connell, from what I've seen of Aiden O'Connell,
that's not good.
Not good. And if you want to be very clear, and I say this as much as I do not like this team, do not like this team at all, but TJ Watt is the MVP of this team. Has been for the last 5 to 6 years. He is the reason why they can stay in games, and he is the reason why they can win some games. And I do see a couple turnovers, and I do see a strip sack fumble caused by TJ Watt. And I do believe, why are we going too fast? We haven't even get my pick. Why we have the Lions and the
Cowboys? You already said you're picking your rivals.
I was not finished. Okay? Thank you. Anyway, because now you done messed up my whole flow. I was flowing. Anyway, I'm going to end this with that. I do believe that I can see them I have them actually winning 28-21 or 28-20, because I actually think that there's going to be some turnovers to give short fields. And I do think.
That's where I was going at. That's where I was getting at.
And George Pickens, honestly, is funny. My man Steven Nunez, shout out to him. He's a Steelers fan. He said it. He is literally all the talent, but no work ethic. And he's the opposite of AB, who had the work ethic and had the ego to match it and did not have the talent. He literally has all the talent in the world, but he has been doing this. It's been following him since Georgia. So he is who he is, unfortunately, right now. And don't know if it's getting better, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop them this way, because I don't trust Aiden O'Connell. I don't trust him against any offense or any defense. And I dang sure don't trust him against TJ Watt, Mika Fitzpatrick, Deshaun Elliott, and Alex Highsmith. I do think that the Steelers are not good, but I think the Raiders in this game are going to be worse. I do think they're going to be worse. And I hate picking my rivals. Why do we got to do that?
And to your point, JJ, not only is it turnovers creating short fields, I wouldn't be shocked if I saw a defensive touchdown or two. Honestly.
I agree. And I bet you I can see
That's why I had 31 points.
I think TJ Watt's strip sack fumble is going to be a touchdown. I think Aiden's not going to see it, and it's going to turn into something crazy because he always does it. He always does it. He had 3 of them against Atlanta, and 2 of them got called back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. So that's enough of them. We talk about them too much. Anyway, can we go over to the next game now? That's awesome. We are going to go to the NFC, I believe, wild card game last year. I want to say it's
no.
That
was Green Bay.
Yeah. They played in the regular season last year. It had that.
That was the referee.
You know what I'm thinking?
It was a controversial game.
I'm thinking back to Matthew Stafford's the controversial game that was too. And, we got the Detroit Lions, we got the Dallas Cowboys, 2 teams that before the season started, many people think are going to be competing. Well, some people that, aren't as overzealous against the Cowboys, these teams are people think are going to be there. These teams, to some people on both of their fan bases, think they could be a potential NFC title game. Detroit is looking good. Detroit is, after, they finally started to figure it out. Their run game, and everybody's doing their thing. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are a 2-headed monster. Jamison Williams is on track with Jared Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown is doing. And the crazy thing is he hasn't even got off. Sam Laporta hasn't got off yet. And we're waiting for him to come through, but they're looking really good. Dallas, they got a big win last week where the people on this panel over here probably didn't pick them to come in last week.
They got lucky.
They got lucky, but it's still a big win. Sometimes you need a little luck in the NFL to get to where you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Tush push and everything, just playing Philly special. You need a little bit of luck to get to where you want to go. 4th and 27, Ray, hey, little Ray Rice up the middle. It just happens, it's just good. So I've done a little bit of talking on this one. James, I love that I'm picking you for this one because I know what you're going to go with this one. But let's go ahead and start it off, man. Hey, you guys see both of these teams. You look at both. This is an important matchup for your Philadelphia Eagles to be watching a little bit. Who you got?
The Lions are going to bust the Cowboys' ass. They are remembering from last year the game that was total nonsense with the referees and the call at the end of the game was so bad. So the Lions been thinking about this game for pretty much since then. I'm not going to say a full year because it hasn't been a full year since then, but they ready for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys got let off the hook by the Steelers. Dak had 2 turnovers in that game. Listen, the Cowboys are still who we think they are. One game does not change this team. So I think that Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery is going to run all over this defense. Jared Goff going to have a couple touchdowns, and this game will not be close. I got 31-13 Detroit.
I can see something. I'm a good because Cowboys are good coming from behind. They put up some garbage time, empty calorie yards, stuff like that. I'm gonna go 23. I'm gonna go 23-31. Detroit. Michael Parsons gonna be out. I think they do get Bland back. DeMarcus Lawrence is out. Brendan Cooks. They got a lot of injuries, and I think this week more than last week, the injury bug, the injury weakness is going to come back and get them this week. It's going to show up a lot this week. Detroit coming off a bye week, so they've had playing time. And they Jay said about the get a referee game last year. I got Detroit winning at least by they probably win by 2 possessions, but I'm gonna say 23-31. It might be more than that, but I got Detroit win this one.
Okay, you got Detroit. I know you said Detroit over here, Mr. James Tatum. Jay.
Well, to your point, JJ, you were half right because they did meet up in a wild card game, but it was in 2014. But if you remember that one, that had a controversial referee calls as well that helped the Cowboys. But
Picking up
anyway,
flags and shit.
yeah, let's have Des Bryant walk on the field unauthorized with no helmet on and not flag him. Let's have Jason Garrett literally tell the referee to pick up the flag, and the referees listen to him. Yeah.
The pass interference was bullshit.
Then there was the phantom pass interference, exactly. So, but no, in this one I got Lions. I'll say the Cowboys will put up 20, but I got Lions putting up 35. So 35-20 Lions.
Wait, last thing. This was the same year that the Dez catch happened.
The very next game, and I said that was
that was straight karma for the pass interference.
Yes, I said that was get back for the Detroit game. Go ahead, JJ.
Okay. It's so funny. It is so funny because this is the craziest type of game that those Cowboys could win.
He gonna pick the Cowboys.
Now
he gonna pick the Cowboys.
This is the craziest thing because it's the type of game that they could win.
He loves going against the grain.
It's so funny though because it's like,
don't do it, bro.
No, but it's just funny because I've seen it. You know, I often just look and be like, now everybody is they just get destroyed, and it's like this is what annoys their fan base. They probably thinking they about to get destroyed. They probably thinking they about to get dominated. And this would be the time where they win, and all of a sudden you just sit there thinking like, what the heck? Now, I don't know if I'm not going there. I just was laugh because if they do win, I'm going to laugh because my gut wants to go there. Bump it. I'm going. My gut's going there. I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game. I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game. And I'm just going off the simple fact of the matter is, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think it's going to be a game where Detroit fans might be a little surprised at how Dallas can move the football. I don't think it's going to be like a dominating win. I don't think it's going to be this. I think it's going to be one of those wins where all their fans are going to be like, how? How do you do it? Like, why do you do this to us? Why do you sit here just when we're ready to be comfortable being horrible? You do this. I'm going with Dallas on this one. I will be the lone wolf out here, and I'm going to laugh. I love y'all because as soon as I said something, I knew Jay was thinking it the whole time. I knew he was thinking it because he always, as soon as I sit there, James was probably sitting there thinking like, I want to see.
No, I knew you were going to do it too after you listened to everything we said.
No, but it's funny because you sit there like, yeah.
Should have made you pick the game first.
Plus, I don't play. Whenever it's a game that we're picking, right? Seemingly, if the rest of the panel says this team gonna blow them out, JJ always says that team's gonna win a close one. It happens all the time.
And
it's like you addicted to it.
No, it's not even that. It's just it always happens to be a game where I think the upset's going to happen,
and it always ends up being the Cowboys too.
But then it happened the other week and I came to you guys and I remember said I was like, yeah, I know I picked them, and they didn't, and they're just like, but yeah, I am not doing it purposely. It's just funny that it happens. Kendall's like, yeah, I'm all new here, but I do notice that he does that, so it's all good. It's whatever. Kendall, you look like you just be chilling over there, but it's all good. Yes. Now
he's a bystander.
Welcome to the show with Joe. So, with that said, James, you take it away. I'm gonna go on mute because my pops is calling me, but I'm still gonna be here.
I got y'all. All right, man. We got the most crucial matchup of the week. We got the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. I got the Falcons. And the Panthers are just trash, man. I don't even have anything else to say.
I got Falcons. I only got to spend too much time on this.
Read the bottom. That's all I got.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. So that's brings us to the next game. Bengals 3.5 against the Giants on Sunday Night Football. I got the Bengals. The Bengals really should have beat the Ravens last week, but they pretty much choked. You get to overtime. You don't run the. I mean, you just run 3 straight runs. They weren't. They were being way too conservative. They already thought they had the field goal. Listen, man, the Bengals got too much talent on the team to be playing a team like the Giants and lose that game. But we said the same thing about the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So anything can happen, but I feel comfortable picking Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cincinnati Bengals this week.
Oh no, this isn't an Andy Dalton game. Okay, yeah, I'm taking the Bengals. They really should have won last week. They screwed the pooch getting that turnover and then failing to cash in on it. The snapper pooped the bed, the holder pooped the bed, and that's what caused Shooter McPherson to send the kick wide left. And then Derrick Henry happened, and that was it.
I'll be good today. I'll be ready.
But
I'll be
the Bengals definitely bounce back from this one. I expect Chase to go off for about 150 and probably 2 tutties. Give me the Bengals. I'll say 24-7.
You as well. Bye-bye.
All right, so we all picked the Bengals for this game, JJ.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? So can we go back to that game? Gracias. No, can we go back to the other game, the Falcons too? Like we going too fast over here. We going too fast over here. I mean, I was like, could y'all hear me the whole time? Just curious.
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, perfect.
But we all picked the Falcons, just so you know.
And we did it in half a sentence. We expect you to do the same.
Yeah.
Delay of game on the offense.
Anyway,
5 yards.
Hold on, but again, I like breakdowns. Remember, I'm the host in this, so I'm going to give a little breakdown on this game a little bit.
Please do.
Just say the Falcons by 2 touchdowns so we can move on. I'm going to go Falcons, but not by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to go Falcons, but Panthers to cover. There you go. Let's go to the next game. And you got the Bengals and the Giants, right? Let me guess. Everybody's on the Bengals too, right?
What I tell y'all about JJ Ass doing the opposite of what everybody else do, but go ahead.
Y'all the Bengals and the Giants, right? You said everybody's picking the Bengals to beat the Giants, right?
Yep.
Okay. I ain't even going to do it.
You don't got the ball.
Do it.
No, I ain't even going to do it.
You wouldn't be you if you didn't do it. You wouldn't be you if you didn't do it.
No, I ain't even going to do it because I really don't believe it. But I do believe the Cowboys. I don't believe the Giants will win this game. But I'm taking the Bengals. I will say this. I love that caption. But yeah, I do got the Bengals in this game. I will say, it might be a better game than people may think. You never know. But, we move on. Who do we have now? I believe it's the Monday night game?
Yep.
So we have the Monday night game. We have the Bills at the Jets. Big news came out of New York the last 48 hours. Yep. Big news came out of the last year. You know what? I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to pass this to the AFC East rep here.
Yeah. I'm surprised the Jets are favored in this game. Very surprised. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I got Buffalo winning, at least by about 3 points. Close game. I think Rodgers looks old to me. I don't think he wants to get hit. I like the matchups that Buffalo got. The thing that scares me about Buffalo is Josh Allen hasn't turned the ball over yet. He ain't threw an interception yet. But I do feel it's coming. He's going to turn back into the Josh Allen we know. I do like Josh Allen, but I do feel like he's going to turn back. He's going to do some crazy, man. At some point, it's too good to be true. He's playing too clean right now. And I'm surprised. I can't believe he don't got no interceptions. That's crazy. But I'm going to go with Buffalo. I know the Jets are home, and that place was rocking. I believe because last time when we played them a few weeks ago, it was rocking on Thursday Night Football. But the Patriots and Bills, they're in 2 different conversations right now. I'm going to go with Buffalo in a close one, man. I really I don't like either one of these teams with them being in the AFC East, but anybody can win the division this year, as long as it's not the Jets. I don't care. Anybody can win it. Whereas the Bills, the dog, I know we're not gonna win it, but the Bills or dog, whoever win it, I don't give a dang, man. Just as long as it's not Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, I'll be happy.
So with that being said, to his point, big news came out of New York. Big news came out of New York. And you know when news comes out, so is theories and speculations. Conspiracy theorists come out here. Robert Saleh, the head coach who maybe like a year and a half ago was actually revered to be a coach of the future, instilling that San Francisco grit. Well, unfortunately, he's gone. And there's been a lot of controversy about how he's left, what he was leaving for, why he was left. And, you know, it's just a whole bunch of craziness going. And Buffalo, I mean, I understand, you know, what we did to you guys, but, you know, that's just different. So I'm just playing. But Buffalo has come back down to earth after starting off 3-0 and just got rocked by, you know, one team, and then they had started to get rocked by another, but then they made their way back in this game. One could argue if Nico Collins was still playing, they probably wouldn't have been able to make it close like that, but they did. They're up. They're down 3-2, and went 3-2 against the 2-3 Jets, right? The Jets are 2-3.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
2-3.
So, Jay Nelson, you, me, Kendall, we have to. We these teams could be potential players. So, who do you have?
You know, something actually was telling me to pick the Jets. If for another reason, but because last week the Texans defense held Josh Allen to his lowest completion percentage in a game. He was 9 of 30. And the Jets defense can be as vicious. And this is a home game. So, but at the end of the day, their X factor right now is James Cook. I don't know if Shakir's coming back. I'm going to have to take a look at that. And oh no, he's on IR, isn't he?
No, he's not. I don't think he's gonna play this week though.
They're gonna play. Okay, then.
Keon Coleman made a big touchdown against the Texans, though.
Yes, he did. He had that 49-yarder. So you know what? I'm gonna take the safe bet on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bills. I think it'll be close though. I'll say 26-21 Buffalo. James Cook gets going. Keon Coleman steps up. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets somehow pulled it off. But I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
Okay. So, before I go, James Tatum, who you got?
The Jets cannot lose this game. After the events that took place this week, they cannot lose this game because the backlash will be too crazy. If they still look like the same team and they come out struggling and not looking good, oh man, it's going to be a problem. And it's going to be all about Aaron Rodgers, which has already been about Aaron. People saying that he's the reason why the man got fired, which to me is crazy. It's crazy to see how the narrative shift from the Jets just making a change to like, oh, Aaron is behind this. So if they lose, everybody's going to come for Aaron Rodgers' throat, and that's it. So I feel like you playing at home, you got to put up a performance against the division team. You got to go out there and win this game. You got to get the ball to Breece Hall. You got to get the ball to Garrett Wilson and these guys that you got on the team, man. You got to go make some plays because Buffalo was looking really good at the first few weeks of the season, but then they had some more ups and downs. Had ups and downs against the Ravens. Had ups and downs last week. So they're showing their vulnerability now. So you got to go strike them where it is. And I just don't think that the Jets can afford to lose this game because the backlash, the noise will probably impact them for the rest of the season. So this is a much bigger game than what I think anybody is letting on at the moment.
You know, it's interesting you say that, you know, because I will say, when Aaron went to New York, one of the things that everybody wanted to see was a shootout between him and Josh Allen. Last year, they were looking for that last year. We know that didn't happen, you know, because they wanted Diggs and Allen versus Wilson and Aaron, and then Aaron got hurt. And now this year, Diggs is gone. Aaron is struggling. Him and Gary Wilson aren't together. So the pizzazz of the game that they wanted is gone. It's gone by people's account based off where these teams are. Now, granted, I think that the biggest issues with the actual New York Jets is their offensive line. I don't think it's nothing really around the skill players on both sides. I think it's just the offensive line is having so much trouble out here. And it's Aaron's old, like he said. About the firing. I agree with James 1000%. Aaron did get him fired, but I think Woody thought about Aaron's best interest, and that's why he did fire him, because if it was said that he was coming in, wanted to talk about firing Nathaniel Hackett. And the reason why I say I have no problem with them letting him go, even if it was for the benefit of Aaron, is because Aaron is older. Aaron's on the back, about to leave this game. So at the end of the day, they're sitting here thinking like, this window to try to win something is short. This window to try to win anything is 1 year and 2 years, if it even they at max. So what do we have to do? We have to make sure we keep this guy in the best position, because it's not about just the person he wants and what's happy. It's a guy that he does well in his offense. They just need to get it together. And that's the only thing that's really the problem, I feel like, with that particular offense, is that Aaron and him know it. The other guy, Alan Lazard, knows it. And Alan Lazard's been getting traction. The other guys don't. They're still figuring it out. And so because they're still figuring it out, it's bad. So, but to this point, I'm going to take the Jets here, because I do think, and I think it's funny because I always want to ask people this, is it really a home game? Because Buffalo's like a couple hours away, and I have to imagine a couple hour drive to the Meadowlands ain't that hard, like, for them. But, is it really a home game? But it is a home game. But I actually think the Jets are going to win this game. And I do think that it's not a, oh my gosh, the Jets are here type game. I think it's what James had said. It's, you have to win this game. And so
there'll be a lot of noise if they don't win.
Bingo. So, my fellas, Kendall, James, Jay, to the fans in the chat who's been communicating, Bacon, Matt, hope I get it right, the Rodkins Show, Wyatt, the Encyclopedia. Welcome another issue to Pick Off. Thank you guys coming in. Hope y'all have a wonderful night and y'all be blessed. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
We'll see you Friday as well for the Gauntlet.
That part too. My bad. We'll see you on Friday with the Gauntlet. Kendall, you coming?
I'll be there.
There we go. So everybody gonna be here, y'all, and y'all better be here too. Follow us, subscribe. You know where to get everybody. We gonna go and have a fun time.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
All right, guys.